YouTube. It's been a while. There's been a couple of reasons that I haven't made any videos in the past sort of month or so. Basically, I've just had so much going on in my personal life that I decided to take a break, and I also got a little bit fed up, I'm going to be honest. Just for a bit of context, I mean, in the past year alone, I've moved back to the UK from working away, had to sort of settle into a new job. I got married, and that was in Italy, so that was like quite a stressful process, sort of arranging everything, and it's just been a bit of a hectic year. And I had my honeymoon coming up, and just things hadn't really been going to plan with the channel, and I felt like I spent a lot of time just kind of running around by myself trying to get videos done, and then Liam would kind of do some other things on the side, and the whole purpose of doing this was to have fun and document the whole car process together, and it wasn't really that at the time, so it kind of sapped the fun out of it. And I've just had 18 days off work, and I went to Zanzibar in Africa, which was amazing. That was my honeymoon. I just chose that as some time to just take some time off making the videos, stop stressing about cars, and trying to build 3 cars at the same time is pretty stupid, to be honest, and I should have sort of just stuck to one at a time. I decided that I'm going to make this video today and give you a quick sort of overview of my plans for each car, because I've had some sort of mixed emotions about all of them, I guess, and it sort of deserves a bit of explanation why I've not really done anything. I think it's best to start with the M3. I mean, it's sort of the starter car for this channel for me. So it's a lot of the people sort of comment say they started following because of this, and have some quite regular questions about when we're going to do updates with this as well. So basically, I sort of at a point decided that I might start looking at other cars, and I looked at like M2s, and I wasn't really as keen on them, to be honest, and I am typically a BMW guy, as you've probably guessed, and I don't know, the modern BMWs don't really do it for me in the same way, so I sort of wrote that idea off, and there was only one other car that's tempted me, if I'm really honest, and that would be a Cayman S, and that would sort of be a car that I'd maybe very slightly modify but kind of leave alone. They are a great car, and to be honest I think they're probably enough car for 90% of people anyway. The reason I've sort of decided against that now is I put some thought into it, and I feel like I haven't done everything that I wanted to do with this car, and I'd kind of regret it. I've done it in the past. I've got rid of cars when I've sort of been at a stalemate and then regretted it afterwards. So I think my plan for this now, I definitely need to fit the suspension. Obviously I've already got the parts, and I just didn't get round to it because I just did not know what to do and what I wanted to do, and I had issues with the other cars, and I just never ended up doing it. We've got some big news actually, but I'll update you on that when I get to the garage. So the M3, suspension first, definitely, and I'm actually going to go ahead and do some weight saving, because after driving the E30 for some time, I got back in the M3, and the seating position and the weight of the car started to bug me more than ever, and I guess that had just been because I'd had some more seat time in a lighter car, which I hadn't done for a while. So we're going to be seeing some updates coming on this car, and we're going to jump to the garage now, and I'll go over the other two. So we've jumped to the unit, and Aaron's here. Well, he was actually here last night helping as well, so David came down. It was Liam's birthday yesterday, and we just sort of hung out around the unit and got some pizzas, but most importantly, this is done. So we now have 3-phasing from the meter to distribution, and if you follow the cables, I've now got an isolator on the wall next to my toolboxes, which means that the lift will be going here and there. So we'll, oh yeah, there's also another isolator on the wall over there. So we're going to have 2 lifts installed in the unit very soon, and I guess in a way that I've kind of been putting off doing stuff on the cars because I knew that the lifts were coming, and I think it adds a totally different element to the videos, being able to sort of lift the car up and show everything properly rather than scratching around on the floor like we always have done. So I think that's going to be cool, definitely. 2002, obviously you'll see now that the E30's here and not the 2002. The reason for that is I kind of got fed up with the car for a while when it was sort of just tucked away in here. I won't go too much into the ins and outs of what happened, but basically I've got weight lost in the source of that car, and it's gone way over the top of what it should have originally been, but it's now gone to a guy called Vlad who's going to be doing the flat floor for the boot, finishing off the metalwork and the cages going in, at which point the car can be primed and I can bring it back here, put it on the lift and do everything. So it's good progress, finally. So I'll just sort of scratch across that and we'll try and get down there and do an update at some point. The E30, actually it looks kind of weird wide angle, I don't know what's going on there. As you can see, sort of walking around it, like there's bodywork bits that need doing. I'm going to go new sills because they've been repaired pretty badly and there's a few sort of nasty bits on them. And it also needs, I mentioned it when I first got it, but like this door's not really worth repairing because they're kind of relatively cheap anyway. So bodywork like sills, door and a bit of paint work, but nothing majorly exciting at the minute. I am going to make a video trying to repair this because these lips are kind of expensive now and I do like it, so that should be interesting because I don't really do bodywork stuff usually. The main thing really, if you look at how it sits, there's quite a bit of rake, and it's kind of funny like driving a car with rake because if you're not aware, it sort of makes a car more oversteery. Fortunately this doesn't really have much power at the minute, so yeah, it's not really anything to worry about, but it doesn't really look that good. And I think I'm just going to go for new suspension all round, try and sort something from Bilstein for E36 M3 fronts and E30 rears, so that'll be coming. And the M52 swap, which obviously is the more exciting part. Me and Aaron did a clutch fan delete in a bit of a rough manner. We used a chisel and a grinder, and then realised it would have been much easier to use the belt as a strap wrench afterwards, but you live and learn. So there's a few more bits to do on this. It doesn't look that clean on the camera, but I have actually spent a bit of time cleaning it up. It was pretty grotty. If anyone has a M50 manifold, I'd be interested to buy it because it makes about 25-30 horsepower with the tuning apparently as well. So that'll be more than enough power for this car to have a lot of fun with it. Oh, also I have some seats under here for the M3, so I want everyone to guess what they are because they're pretty cool. Small detail, wasn't really worth making a video about, but I've repaired the M3 door cards, just sort of re-glued in places, and this bit was really annoying. They are just a plastic plug, but they're pretty expensive because it's from an E30 M3. So they're like £10 each, which is quite pathetic really. I probably could have found them cheaper from elsewhere. But kind of, I feel like once this bolster repair's done, it's actually a really good interior, so they're worth quite a lot of money as well. So I will continue with the E30 and you're going to be getting some updates. My friend actually popped down when I was trying to film this video the other day, so I'm going to start editing now and I'll throw that bit in at the end because we're going to do a video on his car too. Gudge's just turned up. In this, well, dirty but cool Integra. I think we're going to have to do a video on this because it's just been finished and it's really cool. It's K24, yeah. We could have a look actually. I don't want to spoil too much, but we will do a video. Still in these?
No.
The fake bonnet pins.
The fake bonnet pins, man.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's a funny car.
So he's just finished putting together this K24, which is like a Frankenstein basically of the K20. What did you make, about 270-ish?
Wheels. It said, I don't know what that equates to at the fly.
Right, so 217 wheels.
At the wheels, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. It's like, for what it costs and like that sort of displacement and stuff, it's impressive power, isn't it, really?
Really good.
They're super responsive, and yeah, I'd like I said, I want to do a full video on this thing 'cause it's pretty nuts. And I like that it's not super clean at the same time as well. It's cool.